I was a king, I had a golden throne.
Getting one late start here, that's for sure. I should have been out of here 6 hours ago. Man, it's cold. It's cold here in Ohio. I got down to negative 13 or negative 14 this morning. I came out to a dead battery in my Ford. One thing led to another, trying to get the hood open because the hood latch was frozen. So trying to get that open took me an hour just to open my hood. And then once that opened, the hood latch was frozen in the open position and it would not close. It took me another hour to get my hood to close. And then I had to, I left it running the whole time. I had to go to the auto parts store. I took that battery in there and had them test it, and sure enough, that battery immediately came back as a bad battery. So I had to spend $150 and get myself a new battery. The Ford has a nice brand spanking new battery in it, and it's all locked up, so don't even think about going to get it. So I ended up getting out of my house a lot later than I had anticipated. I left later than normal anyway, or I was going to, because I've got a sick wife and 2 sick kids at home. So I was trying to get everything kind of done and situated at home to make things a little easier for my wife before I left. This is one of the hardest times I've ever had to leave because I know she's not feeling well. And our son has been coughing up something horrible. So yeah, it's not been good. And our daughter's been coughing up a lot too. So I just wanted to make it easier on her before I left. But I ended up getting an even later start than I originally thought. And dude, get the hell over, dude. Damn. You got plenty of space to get over. So that's so far my beginning of the day. And as you can see, the roads are still nice and covered. It's just so cold. In fact, it's so cold, I don't know if my camera mount will stay to the windshield right now. It's beautiful out there, though, I'll tell you that. But it is super, super cold. It's hard to tell exactly where the edges of the road is when you pass another car here. But here we go. Went to get fuel at the yard today, and that's all gelled up. It's just brutally, brutally cold here. And it was, there were actually a lot of school closings today because of how cold it was. For the areas where a lot of kids walk to school. And I was surprised because even some of the more rural school districts, some of them were closed, and those kids don't walk to school, so I don't know, but it was definitely, maybe they had problems at the school with piping, freezing, and whatnot. I don't know, but it was definitely cold, and tomorrow it's supposed to be negative 14, so yeah, it's going to be cold again. And that's why I decided to go out and buy the battery for my truck, because even though when it's warm it starts, it's going to be sitting there all week in the cold. Last thing I want to do is have issues with the hood again at 2 o'clock in the morning and have a dead battery. Not my idea of fun. Oh man, I'm kind of prolonging this this whole vlog. Apparently, it's gonna be, I guess, a vlog of the week rather than a day. Not a whole lot going on. As you saw at the beginning of the vlog, got quite a bit of snow. It's really pretty right now. It was, anyway, at the beginning of the week. A lot of snow on the ground, on the roads. Just, you know, which to me is, I love it. I love when there's snow. Maybe not so much ice, but I do love the snow. I love, it's a, you know, it's like a beautiful painting, in my opinion. I think I've talked about this before. One of the hardest things as a driver, you know, is leaving your family for, you know, so much time, whether it's for a few days or for weeks or months even. Yeah. And it was extremely hard. All right, let's try that again. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if it's because the glass is cold, but I have a suction cup mount to my side window here, so I'm not really sure why it does that. But anyway, like I said, I mean, I assume it has to do with the glass being cold. It's 10 degrees. But anyway, what I was saying was, you know, one of the hardest things we have to do is leave our family. And on Tuesday, you know, I left. You know, I was home Monday because it was New Year's, and so none of our customers were open. So I was home, and they're loading me right now too. That might send the mount off its perch. But anyways, I had to leave on Tuesday, and it was a pain in the butt. You know, I told you about all the, at least I think I mentioned earlier in the vlog about the situation with my Ford, the hood not opening, then having to replace the battery, then the hood not closing, and it was just a pain. But that was not the reason that it was hard for me to leave. Physically it was, but not mentally. Both of my kids and my wife are sick. You know, they both had, or they all three have really bad colds. Well, my wife's isn't that bad, but my two kids, my daughter had a temperature of 104 yesterday. Today's now Thursday. You know, my son's been coughing like crazy. He just had some his 4-month shots on or last week, and he's been sick ever since that, which I know that's normal for the most part anyway. You know, so he had those shots and he's been sick, so we've been taking care of him. Well, I know that, you know, it's hard enough for my wife when I'm gone throughout the week. It's hard enough for her to take care of both kids without my help. You know, she's basically living the life of a single parent. Luckily a single parent that doesn't have to work, but still nonetheless a single parent, because I'm just not there, you know, until the weekends. And it's hard enough when both kids are well. When they're both sick, it multiplies how hard it is. You know, it gets much worse for my wife, you know, because I mean, oh crap, here comes the mount. Because are you gonna fall off again, dude? Damn it. All right, let's try it over in this angle. Let's try this windshield. Not that the glass is any different over here, but anyways, gosh, I hate that the thing kept coming off. It's super hard for her when I'm not home and both kids are feeling well, let alone when both kids are sick, and then to top that off when she's sick as well. You know, so it was super hard for me to leave knowing that she was gonna have such a handful this week. So I told my daughter, you know, she's 3 years old, so she's capable of doing some things around the house, you know. Now it's gonna fall again. I just saw it shift. So she's capable of doing some things around the house. And so, you know, I had her come up to me. I said, hey, you know, Bubby and Mommy are both sick. And at this time, she didn't have the temperature of 104. She wasn't doing that bad. She had a little cough, but it wasn't that bad. You know, it was, you know, Wednesday when her cough got bad and her temperature skyrocketed. So on Tuesday before I left, I, you know, pulled her into me. I said, hey, you know, Mommy's going to need your help. anything you can do to help, and that's as small as picking up your toys when you're done playing with them, to possibly even holding a bottle for Bubby, while he's laying on the couch or something, and feeding him so Mommy can do what she has to do. And she goes, "But Daddy, Mommy's a grown-up. I can't do some of those things." That's almost verbatim what she said. And I said, "Yeah, but I believe you can do a lot more than you think you can. But if you can't do something, then I understand." So later that night, I got a text from my wife, and she told me that that she went to go make a bottle for our son, and Kinley offered. She wasn't asked. She offered to make the bottle. But she doesn't understand the measurements and all that stuff, so she couldn't really quite make the bottle, but she offered to make the bottle, and Mommy says, "Well, why?" And she goes, "Because Daddy asked me to help you." And I was just taken aback. I really was. That was one of those proud parent moments that I'd love to relive over and over. I mean, I'm proud of my kids every day. But, there's, just like everything, there's spikes. And that right there was one of those, proud spikes, or spikes of pride, whatever you want to call it, that I just felt, that, it was, my daughter, she offered to help. She offered to make Bubby a bottle. That's amazing. That really is. That's incredible to me. And, of course she couldn't make the bottle, but she offered, and that was just, I'm just so proud. Well, today, she's feeling better today, thankfully. And so is Bubby, so is, my son. That's what we call him, obviously. We call him Bubby just because it's easy for her to say and everything. And so, they're all feeling better, thankfully. Well, they went out to lunch, and my wife sent me a text saying that she was having a fit because she missed me, my daughter. My daughter was having a big fit because she missed me and she wanted to see me. And she was telling her mommy that they had to come pick me up. They had to come see me. They had to come pick me up. And about 2 minutes after that, they FaceTimed me. And sure enough, my daughter was upset. And so I calmed her down, and talked to her for a little bit, and she calmed down. She was still kind of distraught, but she calmed down. And something else too. Last night, she didn't. She doesn't like taking her medicine when she's sick. As no kid does. My wife could not get her to take her medicine at all, just at all. And she had this temperature. So finally last night, I told my wife, I'm like, "Look, tell her that if she takes medicine now until the time I come home, when you need to give it to her, and she takes it, tell her that I'll bring her home a surprise from the road." I don't know what that surprise is yet, but I wanted to do whatever I could to get her to take her medicine because I wanted her to feel better. So she did. She took her medicine, thankfully. And and then I think so now I've got to find a prize for her, surprise. As long as she keeps taking her medicine, as long as she's still needing to take her medicine. So yeah, but I was just so proud. I really was. I was a extremely proud dad when my wife told me that she offered to make the bottle. I mean, it was at 3 years old. At 3 years old, she offered to make her brother a bottle. And we just started him on that baby oatmeal stuff, and he's kind of getting used to that. So we're trying to transition him into more solid foods. But yeah, it was just something else, but made me feel pretty good, made me feel good. Sometimes being out here just makes you kind of feel like, kind of like a bad parent, because you're not You're not with your kids. But, you know, you're out here for a reason. You're not a bad parent. You know, you are out here for a reason, and that's to make sure that they have a good life, that that they're comfortable, that they have a nice house to live in, that they have good food to eat, that they have, the ability to, to perform certain activities, whatever the case might be, that my wife has a reliable vehicle to get the kids around in, things like that, and that's why I'm out here. So, yeah, I'm still gleaming with pride right now. And that's 2 days later. I'm still gleaming with pride over what my daughter offered to do, Even though she couldn't do it, she offered. And I don't know that she didn't know she couldn't do it. I think she really thought she could. But like I said, she said when I asked her to help Mommy out while I was gone, she actually said, "But Daddy, Mommy's a grown-up." I mean, I know I'm biased. Every parent's biased with their own kids. But damn it, she's smart. She really is. Drinking my breakfast here. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm just now having breakfast. Oh man, but it's just one of those things, I mean, I know that we all as parents probably go through the same stuff out here on the road, the same emotions, the same feelings. And it's perfectly natural to have ups and downs. Like I said, I mean, I can't help it, but sometimes, like I said, when I feel like a bad parent because I'm not home, but that's just not true. And I got to keep telling myself that every time I think that. A bad parent would not be sacrificing time with his family to see to it that they have a good life. And I make, being out here as, a lot of truck drivers are or do, we make better than average, money out here. So we're able to give our families decent lives at home. But you do sacrifice an awful lot to drive. And the sad part is I love driving. I love what I do. I have done local. I didn't like it. It was boring. Well, the guy next to me is in trouble now because he didn't shut his truck off while he was in the dock. But I mean, I've done local and I did it for about 1.5 years, maybe closer to 2 years. And it was a great company. It really was, but the money wasn't there. I wasn't making near what I am now. In fact, I'm making like 30 a year more than I was there. And I wasn't making bad money there. I was making over, I was making close to 50, about 50 or so. For a local job, that's not too bad. I was making more than that until they lost an account that I was on. I was hauling parts for Toyota, and then they got underbid, and so I lost the job. Or I lost the that specific route, and then I ended up taking a $400 a week pay cut, and $400 after taxes, by the way, a $400 pay cut, and I just couldn't handle that anymore. I was making about, a lot more than that, probably I was bringing home about $1,000 a week until we lost that account. So that really sucked. Being home, making that kind of money was pretty decent. But it was boring though. I mean, it just was. There's a lot of things about when you're an over-the-road driver or even regional like I am, driving down the highways not knowing what you're going to see, even if you're doing the same route, but it's a long route. You don't know what's in store, so you know, anything could happen within that 650 or 700 miles you're driving that day, and it can be exciting. You know, I mean, it gets into your blood. Don't get me wrong, I would choose my family over trucking anytime, any day. But right now, that's not exactly something that I have to do. I don't have an ultimatum like that. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Man, there's been a lot of drama on YouTube lately, hasn't there? Holy cow. Holy cow. That's for another story. Another video. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get off here and finish getting loaded. Finish my breakfast. And you guys have a good one out there. And we will talk to you later. Well, as a little additional ending to this vlog, I got confirmation from my boss that by the end of this month, I will be in a brand new truck. So I'm pretty pumped about that. So yeah, well, once that happens, you know, like I said, it'll be the end of this month. She just went to the dealer and paid for it. So they got to get everything all situated and ready, and you know, get the licensing for it and all that stuff. Johnny will have to put the decals on it and everything. So once all that stuff's done, I'll be in a brand new truck. So I'll be showing you guys that truck hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Anyways, guys, y'all have a good one out there. We'll see ya.